All right, so in this lesson, we are going to be looking at angles in triangle, both the interior angles, here they are, and exterior angles going around the outside of the triangle. All right, so let's get into it. So we're looking at interior angles here. We got 1, 2, and 3 interior angles. Now we're going to be looking at these angles when we put them all together. So we're going to take the green angle and we're going to move it up. And we're going to take the yellow angle and move that up as well. And looky there, it does make a straight line. So straight lines are 180 degrees. So if we add up all 3 interior angles like this, it's going to make 180 degrees. So looking at an example here, we're going to find the value of this angle here. And so we're going to take all 3 angles and we're going to add them to equal 180 degrees. So we'll start with this first angle here. We'll just call it angle X, and we're going to add to that. This angle here, this is a right angle, perpendicular, 90 degrees. So X plus 90, and then plus, and then the last angle there is 23 degrees, and that's going to equal 180 degrees. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and clean this up a little bit. So we can add like terms. We have an equation. We're going to add like terms. So we'll have X and then plus, and then the adding like terms here, 90 and 23 make 113, and that still equals 180 degrees. So now we're trying to get X by itself now that we've cleaned up the equation, simplified, added like terms. So to go from X plus 113 to X, we're going to undo the plus 113 with a minus 113 to both sides. So that's going to undo this positive 113 there, and then 180 minus 113, 67 degrees for our angle over here. Now another way of looking at this is we're going to start with 180 degrees and we're going to subtract off the other 2 angles, which 90 for that one, and we're also going to subtract off the 23. So another way of looking at this, another way, is you start with 180 and subtract off the sum of the other 2 angles. So you can add them up first, the 90 and the 23, and then whenever you get there, you subtract from 180. So it would look like this, 180 minus 113, which is what we did on our equation as well. But it's just 2 other ways of doing the same thing. All right, another example. We have a triangle. We're going to add up all 3 angles and they're going to equal 180 degrees when we add them up. So we'll just start here and go around the triangle. We have an X plus another X plus the 23 degrees. And again, we add them all up, equals 180 degrees. So here we're going to do the same thing as the last one. We are going to add like terms. We're going to clean up the equation here. So we have 2 x's being added up. X plus x makes 2x. We still have the plus and the 23, and that's going to equal 180. So we want to go from this equation to x equals instead. So we're going to undo the multiply by 2 and the add to 23 to go from 2x plus 23 just to x. So we're going to start by subtracting the 23 from both sides of the equal sign. So that's going to leave us with just 2x on the left-hand side, and then we have equals, and then 180 minus 23, 157. So now that we've undone the plus 23 with a minus 23, we're going to undo the times 2 with a divide by 2. So we're going to divide 2 to both sides. So 2x divided by 2 just makes x equals 157 divided by 2, 78.5 degrees for each x there. And another way of looking at that is we're going to start with our 180, and then we're going to subtract off the 23. So we're going to subtract the 23, and then what's left over, we are going to divide evenly into these 2 equal angles here. So that's divide by the 2 angles. So 180 minus 23, whatever that equals, then divide evenly into these 2 equal angles. So that's a divide by 2. So now that we've looked at interior angles, now we'll look at exterior angles of a triangle. So there's an exterior angle, there's another one, and there's a third exterior angle there. Now if we take these and we put them all together, we end up with a complete circle. So a complete circle is 360 degrees. So if you know all 3 exterior angles, that's going to add up to 160 degrees if you're finding their measures. That's not really where we're going today. Today we're looking at just one exterior angle. So let's start here. We have this triangle, and one of the angles is 20, another one is 30, and we're trying to find this last interior angle. Well, from what we just finished doing with the interior angles, we're going to take 180 and we're going to subtract off the other two angles. So that's the 20 plus the 30. We're going to subtract. In this case, it's going to be 50. So 180 minus 50 makes 130 degrees for this angle here. So now that we know the three interior angles, let's look at this exterior angle here. So we do know that this angle and the 130 make a linear pair. They're supplementary. They add to 180. So if we know one of them, we'll start with 180 and subtract off the one that we know to find the one that we are trying to find, the unknown one. So in this case, 180 minus 130 makes 50. Well, over here, we did these two make 50, and that's what we subtracted from 180 to get 130, and then we unsubtracted again to get back to the 50 that we started with there. So that's going to be our shortcut for exterior angles. So for exterior angles, so here's an exterior angle here, and now if we look at these two interior angles here, not the one next to it, but the other two, the non-adjacent ones, and we'll move those over. There's the yellow one and the blue one. We're going to sandwich that. Hey, check that out. They equal the measure of the exterior angle. So if we take the blue and the yellow, add them up, that does make that exterior angle there. So we take the non-adjacent angles, add them up, find their sum, and that's how we get the measure of the exterior angle. All right, quick example of this. So we know these two interior angles are 50 and 70 degrees. We're trying to find the exterior angle on the other side of the triangle there. We're simply going to add up the two non-adjacent interior angles. So 50 plus 70, that does make 120 degrees. And it's that simple. Another example here. Here we know an exterior angle, and we're trying to find one of the non-adjacent interior angles. We know 30, and we're trying to find this one. So we can do kind of like an equation type idea. So we're going to take the interior angle 30 plus the one that we don't know. We'll just leave it as question mark. You can put x, y, whatever variable you want, but we'll just treat this question mark like a variable, and that's going to equal the exterior angle, in this case 70 degrees. So how do we find this missing angle that's being added by 30? Well, the missing angle equals 70, and now we're going to minus 30 from the 70 in order to get that last one there. So we add the two to find the exterior. If you know the exterior, you subtract. So that is going to make 40 degrees for that angle there. So quick sum up here, our interior angles, if we add those up, they equal 180 degrees, adding the measures. And then for an exterior angle, you're going to add the two non-adjacent interior angles to find the measure of that exterior angle. All right, so I hope this helps. I hope you have a great rest of your day, start to your day, rest of your evening, whatever time you might be watching.